Another misconception is that some people feel that when you work in the corporate world as a nurse, you lose touch with your medical knowledge, you lose touch with your nursing skill, and that's not true because you cannot actually work as an insurance nurse without a good grasp of treatment plan, diagnosis, and knowledge of medicine.
You basically help those nurses who are looking to get maybe experiencing burnout or maybe looking to do something outside of the traditional setting, and you help them to get into areas like managed care, case management, utilization review. So when you say insurance nurse, those are the areas that you're looking at.
Welcome to Nurses with Voices. I'm Dr. Lendra, your host and fellow nurse who's traded in burnout for breakthroughs. I'm here to show you how to transform your nursing career into one filled with purpose, reduced stress, and incredible opportunities. Whether you're looking to start your own business, build generational wealth, or simply find a healthier role in nursing, this podcast is for you. Join me to explore practical strategies to overcome burnout, combat bias, and chart new paths in nursing. It's time to reclaim your voice and reimagine your future in healthcare. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Nurses with Voices. I'm Dr. Lendra, and I am here today with Pelumi, the insurance nurse. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself and tell you about his journey as a nurse and how he got into insurance and being called the insurance nurse.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lendra. I appreciate the honor of the invitation. And my journey to insurance started when I was actually scouting for a better job. I started as a clinical nurse and I wasn't satisfied with the pay I was getting. And I spoke with some of the people I know and I got a link into the health insurance industry. And it wasn't something I initially loved to do, but when I got into it, I saw the benefit of of the system and I fell in love with it. While I was a student, I always have a desire to work as a public health nurse. However, I don't know what particular aspect of public health nurse I was going to be working in. So when I got that opportunity to work in the health insurance industry, I so much fell in love with it because it helps many family to be able to afford healthcare. In countries like Nigeria, Africa, where people have a lot of challenges financially and people could not have access to healthcare as they ought to, and health insurance helps healthcare affordable for them, and many families and lives have been saved. So when I got into it, I saw that many nurses do not actually know that a nurse can work in the industry. And I recalled when I was a student, the only contact I have with health insurance was when one of our lecturers told us to do an assignment on national health insurance scheme. That was the only contact. So I felt this is very great. This system is very great. It's helping families. It's helping people to afford healthcare, and why is it that many nurses do not know about it? I thought, what can I do to bridge the knowledge gap? Because one of the things I do as an insurance nurse is quality assurance. So I visit many healthcare facilities and I come in contact with nurses. You don't know that a nurse can work as a quality assurance officer and other. So I saw that wide knowledge gap and the fact that the nursing curriculum, health insurance is not included. So I saw that challenge and I thought, oh, let me create a community that can help to create awareness about the benefits of health insurance for the populace and training nurses to take their place in it. Because one of the things I also saw was that the many people at the forefront of leadership as far as health insurance is concerned are pharmacists, doctors, and we hardly find nurses at the forefront of leadership as far as the system is concerned. So I saw that if I begin to coach nurses, mentor them, nurses will actually take their place as far as the industry is concerned. So that was when I carved a niche for myself, the insurance nurse, and people were getting curious, were asking questions about how it works. And by God's grace, we've been able to reach many nurses, close to 1,000 nurses in 10 months of starting the insurance nursing community, and we have been able to also train nurses, certify some of them PhD holders, and they are all eager to learn about health insurance.
That is wonderful because when you say your community, you're based in Nigeria, right? So you're in Nigeria. So
Yes.
you're connecting and networking with nurses where? Like name like different countries all across the US? Like where?
I've been able to do my findings about nurses who work, in the health insurance sector across the world. I saw that health insurance is a big thing in US. There's actually an American board of managed care nursing who certify nurses to become certified managed care nurse. So I've been able to search for many managed care nurses on LinkedIn, and also I've been able to connect with some nurses in Africa, Ghana, Kenya, who I've heard about health insurance. But my connection and networking is building, open to actually connect with nurses, especially in the US, because I see that they have a system for nurses to specialize in managed care nursing.
What are some common misconceptions about the role of insurance nurses, and how does your community address these misconceptions to empower nurses entering this field?
Some nurses do not believe that there's a place for for them in the corporate world. So they believe that it's either it's clinicals or academia. But I've been able to see areas where nurses can fit in the corporate world. Nurses work as utilization managers, they work as claims review managers, they work as provider network administrators, care coordinators, care managers, case managers, quality assurance officers, managers, and so on. I've seen that nurses, some majority actually do not believe that nurses work outside of the clinicals and the academia as a corporate nurse. We are actually trying to bridge this gap, correcting this misconception by hosting an online monthly webinar that bring nurses together. So we invite nurses who already work as a managed care nurse, as an insurance nurse, and we bring them to share their experiences with other nurses. And from there, many have been inspired. Many are saying, I think I fit in into this space. I think I would like to be an insurance nurse as well, especially for people who have experienced burnout in the clinical setting, the advent of COVID-19, and people seeking for new ways to balance their personal life and their work life. So they are trying to see jobs that afford them flexibility, and insurance nursing helps people to devote their work life and personal life, as we have people who work remotely, from people who work hybrid, and people who can actually predict their work time. So we've been bridging this knowledge gap gradually with the online webinars. We also design courses. We have what we call insurance nursing basic course and insurance nursing advanced course. I got to register with the Corporate Affairs Commission of my country, and I issue a certification to ensure that nurses are trained and they are well versed as far as health insurance is concerned. Another misconception is that some people feel that, oh, when you work in the corporate world as a nurse, you lose touch with your medical knowledge, you lose touch with your nursing skill, and that's not true, because you cannot actually work as an insurance nurse without a good grasp of treatment plan, diagnosis, and knowledge of medicine. As a utilization nurse, granting pre-authorization code to PCPs, primary care providers, you want to be sure of the kind of treatment you want to go ahead with, the kind of specialists that can handle the case. So a lot of persons are relying on your medical judgment, your medical intelligence. So as a nurse in the insurance world, you cannot actually lose touch with your medical knowledge. You have to use them. You have to always apply them. As a quality assurance officer, your medical knowledge has to always be updated. So people think that perhaps they will lose touch, but that's not true. Also, we work as public health advocates, public health educator. We educate the public, we educate our enrollees on preventive medicines, because we know that preventive medicine it helps us to afford spending for curative medicine. So we educate the populace on things they can do to prevent some chronic diseases, certain diseases from happening. So we oftentimes make use of our medical knowledge, and that's encouraged nurses, to be in the sector. So you can be in your suits, in your corporate wear, applying your medical knowledge, and you're in the office with your laptop.
You basically help those nurses who are looking to get maybe experiencing burnout or maybe looking to do something outside of the traditional setting, and you help them to get into areas like managed care, case management, utilization review. So when you say insurance nurse, those are the areas that you're looking at, working with insurance companies like Aetna, Blue Cross, the different insurance giants.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for coming on today. One last question. What impact do you believe insurance nurses can have on the healthcare industry as a whole? And do you envision this role evolving in the future?
Yeah, I actually see the role evolving in the future because many nations right now put policies in place, they put laws in place. For example, in Nigeria in 2022, there was an NHI Act that makes health insurance mandatory for every citizen. So many nations are putting laws in place because health insurance helps to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 3 and 8, which talks about health for all and economic growth, because we know that healthcare can actually have a huge effect on people's economic growth. For example, somebody who is a driver and have to go through cesarean section because the wife, had a little bit issue giving birth, SVD. So having to pay for the cesarean section can have an effect on their economic growth. So health insurance helps to protect families, from hardship and help everyone to have access to quality healthcare, to quality healthcare at an affordable rate. So many nations are putting policies in place. And like I said, in Nigeria, even though we have less to 20% compliance at the moment, but as the policy has been put in place, it will soon be made mandatory for every citizen to be on board. And that makes for job openings for nurses in the insurance industry, because nurses forms the larger population of the workforce in the health insurance industry. So it has future prospects. The only thing we are looking for is that, as it is in US, where we have an American Board of Managed Care Nursing, we are also hoping that in some other countries, Rwanda, Ghana, and we also have, a board that certifies people, to be a professional, managed care nurse. So there's a prospect for nurses, and on a larger perspective, nurses actually help, the healthcare system by leveraging on their empathy. We know that nurses are empathetic. They do not want to watch their patients die, suffer because they could not afford healthcare. We are increasing awareness. We are increasing awareness by creating content, by talking about health insurance wherever we are. So, and that awareness is helping people to get on board, helping people to see the benefits of health insurance. And this increasing awareness helps the system, because the system works with a system of funds pooling. The more people join the system, the more there is a pool of funds to be able to actually cater for people's healthcare needs. Because the way it works is not everyone is going to be hospitalized at the same time. So let's say we have about 20 million people that got insured. Research reveals that just about 20% of the people that got insured might have to use their plan. So the money, the premiums of the people that are not utilizing the plan at the moment is being used for the people that are utilizing it, so that when others who did not utilize it now, by the time they would utilize it, the money of others also will help them, to get along with their medical needs. So we increase advocacy and increase compliance. The compliance helps family, saves family from hardship, saves. In fact, there is a program, called tertiary institutions social health insurance program. That is health insurance for students, in tertiary institutions. So we've seen how that students have been able to have access to specialized care, see specialists at a meanger fee, or that they pay as premium. So this has actually improved the healthcare of many. So nurses getting involved, increasing their advocacy, is increasing the awareness about the benefits of health insurance, is helping families, saving lives, and is also helping the system to be more formidable. Another thing is the analytical skills of nurses in terms of claims management, is helping to eliminate fraud in the system, because the work of the claims management is to ensure that the PCPs, the primary care providers, they are not making claims that were not authorized. So the work of the claims management, officers helps to actually eliminate fraud and keep the system sanitized, and keep the system accountable and in integrity. And with this, the system is becoming much more formidable to be able to cater for the healthcare needs of people. Another thing is quality assurance. As nurses, we are in the forefront. We are at the forefront of quality assurance, going to the hospitals, ensuring that the basic infrastructures are on ground for the healthcare needs of our enrollees. So we are going there, ascertaining that everything are in place. Nurses working in this capacity helps to ensure that people do not just have access to affordable healthcare, but quality healthcare. And like you mentioned, that nurses work as care managers, as case managers. Nurses work hand in hand with physicians. When enrollees who are health insurance policy holders are admitted, they work hand in hand with them to ensure that the proper care is administered to them, that the proper thing is done. And this accelerates the recovery of our patients, increasing the quality of healthcare, increasing the livelihood of people, and helping people to actually get stronger so that they can increase their economic life. So nurses are doing great, and their roles are very pivotal to making the health insurance system formidable and making lives and the community become healthier.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That's been very enlightening and I'm sure helpful for so many people. How can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn as Pelumi Akinboade, in brackets, the insurance nurse, as it is on the screen. Pelumi Akinboade, in brackets, the insurance nurse. And our community is on LinkedIn as well. Insurance Nursing Community on Facebook as well. Insurance Nursing Community on Instagram. Insurance Nursing Community.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So until next time, make sure you stay inspired, stay educated, and stay empowered.